Ferrari have gone quite radical in their approach to this year's F1-75 contender. In Bahrain 2022, Ferrari had the strongest car on the grid. But what do we know about this car? Before diving into engine details, their innovative modular nose idea that no team ever did in F1 before, and aero package that completely stole the show, I would like to start with one thing that really satisfied me personally: the sharp tip of the nose cone. Because if I were to design an F1 car, I definitely would want to design a sharp tip of the nose cone with a wide main board area. Because sharp nose feature reduces the area of stagnation where the airflow hits the front of the nose and doesn't know where to go. And end plates are designed to create inboard flow. Flaps do not seem to be adjustable, except the outer two-thirds of the third and fourth flap seems to be movable. But even then, the last short section of these flaps that connects to the end plates are fixed, which is quite considerate because in highly loaded inboard section, if you vary the angle of the inner section of the fourth element, it creates a detrimental effect on airflow further down the stream. The end plates have the customary ski ramp on the outer surface. This helps with managing the tire skirt and the negative effect that could have on the performance of the front wing. Further, F1-75 is the only car in the grid to launch a small NECA duct placed near the tip of the nose cone. It is unclear where the NECA duct redirects the air to, but it may just lead to the underside of the nose to help the flow underneath attached to the car. Now let's get to the "oh my god, why nobody has ever done that before" feature. The modular nose. Instead of having a single nose section, Ferrari has split its design into two separate parts, which would give them great freedom to alter the tip of the nose cone later within the project, while the second part, which is the structural part that connects the chassis to the tip of the nose, which already passed the homologated FIA crash test requirements. The modular design will simply allow teams to react quickly by modifying the tip of the nose without having to go through costly crash tests. And with the budget cap, the saved money can be used on developing other features. If you think about it, it makes so much sense. And with the new regulations, I'm sure other teams will implement this as well. The nose of Ferrari wasn't the only feature that raised brows. The side pod designs were like nothing else on the grid last weekend. The dent on the top surface of the side pods quickly triggered aerodynamicists' interest. This aero feature seems to lead the air towards the rear beam wing. The rear surface of top side pods work together with the diffuser to form an area of higher pressure, which can be seen on the CFD work. As you can see, the pressure coefficient is increasing here, which is also reducing the drag. According to Vanja's analysis, compared to the base model, top side pod alone had 50% less drag. That's also why Ferrari probably extended the side pods all the way to the rear to reduce the drag on these areas as well. The dent on the side pod isn't the only interesting feature. Let's look at the cooling lures on the side pods. The cool air enters through the side pod air intake. Later on, this incoming air interacts with the water and oil radiator, and now energized and hot air exits the system through these cooling lures. Later on, the channeled air appears to be guided over the top surface of the beam wing, creating a high pressure pool, which creates even more downforce since that high pressure pool is pushing the car down. Ferrari definitely put the Bernoulli equation in play. Air gets sucked out through the lures, improving their cooling in the side pod. By creating a greater pressure differential across the radiator, Ferrari would be able to increase its cooling capacity without further opening the inlets or creating a larger expansion area. Although Verstappen in a Red Bull was 7 km per hour faster than Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari through the speed trap in qualifying, Ferrari was better at acceleration based on the traces around the lap. Well, given the data and seeing how adept Ferrari was on turn 1, 10 and 13, maybe Leclerc was saving power unit energy on turn 5, 6 and 4. When Leclerc was already exiting corners, Verstappen was just reaching the end of straights. How can a car accelerate faster than the other one, right? Well, there are a couple ways that can happen: engine, power unit, or gearing. Acceleration is very dependent on gearing. Depending on how fast and large the torque transmitted from engine to the axle connected to the wheels can alter acceleration performance. If the gearing ratios on transmission are closer to each other, a more punctual shift velocity is possible. Another possibility is that the engine simply is so strong that it was possible to accelerate up through the gears. Let me explain how that happens. Think about a single piston in an engine. By ignition, this piston is pushed down, which applies force to the crankshaft, and the cylindrical axle starts rotating beneath the engine. These crankshafts starts turning, creating a torque. This torque we talk about is the engine torque. But this torque is not the torque that moves the wheels. The crankshaft is connected to transmission. Transmission has a set of gears of varying sizes. The diameter of these gears amplifies the magnitude of the torque. First gear is the largest gear. Imagine that first gear's radius or torque arm is 10 times size of the crankshaft gear. In that case, the engine torque will multiply 10 times. In Ferrari's case, smaller gears on the transmission could be shorter. The new 10% ethanol fuel changed the combustion process, which reduced power more or less by 20 horsepower. And yet, Ferrari absolutely did an amazing job this year. Technological development of Ferrari was truly impressive. They finally are racing in the top tier, which is making me really happy since the allure of that red car that I saw on TV inspired the 9-year-old little girl from Turkey called Nazli to become a mechanical engineer. Ferrari gifted me the biggest passion in my life, which is Formula 1, so seeing them do so well at Bahrain truly made the child in my soul so happy. Thank you for watching. If you came this far and like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I'm an aspiring Formula 1 engineer, and if you would like to follow my journey or have any ideas how I can get there, add me on LinkedIn. I look forward to interacting with you.